In 2017, John Deere paid 4.6 billion euros for a single German company. The acquisition was Wirtgen Group, the Westerwald region road construction equipment maker that builds the asphalt pavers, the cold milling machines, and the compactors that pave most of the world's interstate highways. In one transaction, John Deere bought the segment of heavy construction equipment that Caterpillar had been competing in for 30 years. Caterpillar walked through the same sale process. Caterpillar declined the price. John Deere outbid them. The 8 years since 2017 are the document that the American compact equipment market is reading right now. Because in 2026, John Deere is running the same playbook again. The target is Bobcat. The dealer rankings on the skid steer, the compact track loader, and the mini excavator are already moving. And the people who run those machines for a living are watching the conversion happen one worksite at a time. Look at what John Deere actually bought in 2017. The Wirtgen Group is 5 brands under one parent roof. Wirtgen itself, founded in 1961 in the Westerwald region of Germany, builds the cold milling machines that scrape the top layer off interstate highways before resurfacing. Vogler, founded in 1836 in Mannheim, Germany, builds the asphalt pavers that lay the new layer. Ham, the compactor brand, finishes the job. Kleemann supplies the crushers that produce the aggregate. Benninghoven builds the asphalt plants that supply the asphalt. 5 brands, 1 acquisition. Every step of road construction from raw rock to finished pavement. Before 2017, Caterpillar competed in cold milling with its own PM700 series machines. Caterpillar competed in asphalt pavers with its own product line. Caterpillar competed in compaction with the CB and CS series. The Cat dealer sold Cat road construction product into the same contractors who bought Wirtgen, Vogele, and Ham machines from the local Wirtgen dealer. The 2 sales channels overlapped at every major highway project. After 2017, the contractor still bought Wirtgen, Vogel, and Ham. The badge on the parent corporation changed. The Wirtgen dealer became, by extension, a John Deere road construction dealer. The contractor who had bought Vogele asphalt pavers since the 1980s did not switch his brand loyalty. The brand he was now buying from was, structurally, John Deere. By 2022, market data, published by Off-Highway Research, showed Wirtgen Group revenue holding strong and Cat road construction revenue compressing. Caterpillar pulled most of its asphalt paver line from the market. Caterpillar kept a narrow compactor offering. The road construction segment Caterpillar had defended for 3 decades was effectively conceded. Here is what makes the Wirtgen acquisition the relevant precedent for Bobcat. John Deere did not invent its own road construction product line. John Deere bought the dominant European brand and let the brand operate inside the John Deere parent structure. The Wirtgen badge stayed on the cold milling machines, the Vogele badge stayed on the asphalt pavers, the Ham badge stayed on the compactors. The contractor never had to learn a new brand. The dealer never had to retrain his service technicians. The conversion was, from the contractor's point of view, invisible. From the Caterpillar point of view, it was a 30-year segment lost in 5 years. If you operate compact equipment, or if you supervise a job site that runs skid steers, compact track loaders, and mini excavators every day, so subscribe and turn on the bell. The channel works through 1 machine class, 1 corporate decision, 1 acquisition at a time. The list is long, and the next chapter of the John Deere playbook is the one you are about to see executed in real time on your own job site. Stay on the channel for the full breakdown. Now look at the compact equipment market that John Deere is targeting. The compact equipment category is skid steer loaders, compact track loaders, mini excavators in the 8-ton and below class, and compact wheel loaders. The American market for this category is roughly 90,000 units a year in steady state. Bobcat, headquartered in West Fargo, North Dakota, and owned by Doosan Bobcat Incorporated, has been the category leader for 4 decades. The Bobcat skid steer was the original product, launched in 1958 by the Melrow Manufacturing Company in North Dakota. Bobcat invented the skid steer category. Bobcat's market share in the American skid steer segment has been roughly 30% for most of the last 2 decades, with Caterpillar, Case, and Kubota splitting most of the rest. John Deere has been the persistent second or third player in the segment for years. The John Deere 300 series and 300G series compact loaders compete directly with the Bobcat S66, S76, and S86 skid steers. The John Deere 333G compact track loader competes directly with the Bobcat T66, T76, and T86 tracked machines. The John Deere 50G and 75G mini excavators compete directly with the Bobcat E50 and E65 mini excavators. For most of the last decade, the comparison was close on spec sheet and the conversion was slow. The conversion is not slow anymore. Anyone who has rented both a Bobcat T76 and a John Deere 333G in the last 12 months knows the answer on operator station, on cycle time, and on grade control integration. The contractor who has run both knows which one he asks the rental yard for next time. The auction houses already know. Look at what changed at John Deere in the last 5 years. In 2021, John Deere consolidated the construction equipment dealer network under a single construction and forestry segment leadership. The dealer count in North America is now roughly 1,900 locations carrying John Deere construction product. The Bobcat dealer count in North America is roughly 1,300 locations. 600 dealer locations is a structural advantage that does not go away in a single product cycle. The contractor who needs a part on Saturday morning at a job site in central Pennsylvania has more John Deere dealers within 50 miles than Bobcat dealers within 50 miles. The agricultural dealer network, John Deere, built over 120 years for tractors and combines became the construction equipment dealer network in the last 5 years. In 2022, John Deere launched the L-Series mini excavator line, the 26G, 30G, 35G, 50G, 60G, and 75G replacements. The L-Series brought hydraulic refinement and operator station design that the previous G-Series did not have. The reviews from independent rental yard operators, the contractors who run multiple brands side by side on the same job site, were direct. The L-Series mini excavator matches or exceeds the Bobcat E-Series on operator comfort and on cycle time. The rental yard purchasing decision started to shift. In a market where roughly 40% of compact equipment in active service is owned by rental yards and resold to contractors, the rental yard preference is the leading indicator of the retail purchase decision. In 2023, John Deere launched SmartGrade for compact equipment. The grade control technology that John Deere had built into its larger dozers and motor graders came down to the 333G compact track loader. The 333G with SmartGrade was the first compact track loader on the American market with factory-installed automatic grade control. The Bobcat compact track loader, competing for the same job, offered third-party grade control as an aftermarket add-on. The contractor with a foundation prep job, a landscaping job, or a utility trench job has a documented productivity gain from factory-installed grade control. The John Deere machine had it from the factory. The Bobcat machine did not. Look at one specific job site to see how the comparison plays out. A foundation prep contractor running a 5-person crew outside Indianapolis, Indiana, ran a Bobcat T76 and a John Deere 333G on the same site for 90 days in the spring of 2024. Same operator on rotation, same backfill material, same grading specification. The contractor reported the 333G with SmartGrade finished the foundation pad in roughly 1/3 less operator hours than the Bobcat T76 with the aftermarket grade kit. The contractor's next purchase order was 2 more 333G machines. The Bobcat T76 was sold at auction 6 months later for a price below the John Deere, comparable on the same auction date. Multiply that contractor by the rental yard fleet across 2,000 contractors in the Midwest. Multiply that across 40 states. Multiply that across 2 model years. The auction data is the early indicator. Ritchie Bros. And Iron Planet auction prices on 3-year-old Bobcat T7 6 compact track loaders in 2024 ran approximately 7% below the comparable John Deere 333G on the same auction dates. 3 years earlier, the same comparison ran 4% in favor of Bobcat. The 11-point swing is the auction yard reading the dealer service map and the technology stack ahead of the retail purchase order. The auction yard moved first. The retail purchase order moved second. The dealer rankings moved third. Quisoup is the only English language channel calling Caterpillar, John Deere, Bobcat, and the rest of the heavy equipment industry to account on segment-specific corporate decisions. The operator tier at $5.99 gets you early access to videos like this one, members-only shorts, and the polls that decide which brand we break down next. The site foreman tier at $14.99 is the next step up if you supervise a fleet. Both links are in the description. Subscribe and turn on the bell so the next breakdown of an American legacy brand, watching another American challenger eat its segment lands in your feed the day it ships. This is the Wirtgen playbook executed differently. With Wirtgen, John Deere bought the dominant European brand and operated it under the John Deere parent. With Bobcat, John Deere is building its own product line to functional parity, then exceeding the incumbent on dealer network reach, on factory technology integration, and on rental yard placement. The acquisition path and the organic build path arrive at the same destination. The contractor switches brand without switching expectation. Now look at the corporate vulnerability on the Bobcat side that makes the John Deere conversion easier than the Wirtgen conversion was. Bobcat was acquired by the Doosan Group of South Korea in 2007 for $4.9 billion. The acquisition pulled Bobcat out of the Ingersoll Rand portfolio, where it had been a non-core asset, and into a Korean industrial conglomerate that intended to make Bobcat its global construction equipment flagship. Doosan Bobcat completed an initial public offering on the Korean Stock Exchange in 2016. The public offering raised capital, but it also subjected Doosan Bobcat to quarterly shareholder reporting and to the broader Doosan Group corporate strategy. In 2024, the Doosan Group attempted to merge Doosan Bobcat with Doosan Robotics, a Korean robotics arm. The merger was structured as a stock swap that minority shareholders argued undervalued the Doosan Bobcat operating business in favor of the higher multiple speculative robotics business. Minority shareholder revolt forced the merger to be restructured. The original merger plan was abandoned by late 2024. The episode revealed two things to the American compact equipment market. The first is that Doosan Bobcat's parent company is willing to subordinate the Bobcat operating business to other Doosan Group strategic priorities. The second is that the public shareholder pressure on Doosan Bobcat will make it harder for Bobcat to make the long-horizon capital commitments that the John Deere parent can underwrite without quarterly shareholder approval. John Deere is structured differently. John Deere is a publicly traded American company with a market capitalization of roughly $120 billion in 2026. John Deere Construction and Forestry is one of three reporting segments. The segment generated roughly $13 billion in revenue in fiscal 2023. The segment has its own engineering, its own manufacturing, and its own dealer network, but it shares balance sheet capacity with the larger agricultural business. The capital John Deere can commit to compact equipment product development is larger and longer horizon than what a publicly traded compact equipment specialist with a single product category can match. Look at the product cycle ahead. John Deere announced in 2024 that the next generation compact equipment line will include the first factory production electric compact track loader available in volume in the American market. The electric 333 GE will use a 150 kilowatt-hour battery pack, 3 hours of continuous operation, and the same John Deere dealer service network for charging infrastructure support. Bobcat has demonstrated an electric T76 prototype at trade shows in 2022 and 2023. The Bobcat electric machine has not entered volume production in the American market. John Deere is on track to be first to commercial scale on factory production electric compact track loaders. The compact equipment contractors who's starting to bid on city utility jobs that require zero-emission equipment will have one factory production choice. The choice will be John Deere. Some balance is worth stating clearly. Bobcat is still the brand that invented the skid steer category. The S66, the S76, and the T76 are competent machines with strong operator preference data. Bobcat dealer service is rated highly in independent contractor surveys. The Bobcat product is not failing in the field. The product is competing inside a market structure where the parent company is publicly distracted, the dealer is smaller, and the next generation technology integration is slower. The argument here is structural, not product. In a market where the structural disadvantage compounds over a decade, the product strength alone does not hold the segment. Look ahead 5 years to 2030. By 2030, the American compact equipment market will have transitioned through one full product cycle on skid steers and compact track loaders. The next generation product cycle will have launched. The factory production, its electric compact track loader category, will be a meaningful share of the market. The grade control and machine guidance integration will be standard on most new units. The dealer service network reach will matter more, not less, because the technology stack will require more service touch. John Deere will lead on the electric category, on the technology integration, and on the dealer network. Bobcat will defend the brand legacy and the contractor loyalty that 40 years of category leadership has earned.
Published by Highway Research to Reach Research in 2030.
Will look a lot like the road construction equipment market share data published in 2024. Watch 3 indicators if you want to track this conversion in real time. Watch the rental yard purchase orders published by the largest American rentals companies. Watch the dealer count published by John Deere Construction and Forestry. Watch the auction prices on 3-year-old compact track loaders at Ritchie Bros and Iron Planet. The 3 indicators are the early warning system on the segment transition. The data has already started moving. For the broader American legacy industrial story, the Iron Acre Channel covers the long industrial heritage of American manufacturing. Shopproof covers the tool autopsy on the equipment you actually run. Field Legends covers the operator history that put the American compact equipment industry where it is today. All 3 are sibling channels to Quisup. None are collaboration partners. Each runs its own coverage. Subscribe to whichever matches the segment you work in. The Wirtgen playbook took 8 years. The Bobcat playbook is on year 2. Tell me in the comments which compact equipment brand you would specify for a new fleet purchase order today. The dealer rankings in 2030 already know the answer.